have mana up, lead into playing the creature for the natural order, and then natural order to win.
It's really impressive, just what you can do. Now, obviously, you'll run out of cards if you keep using it every turn, but the idea is you're going to be dead before you run out of cards. The opponent will be dead before you run out of cards.
So, interesting thing to note about how this deck goes off. Natural order plus Cabal Therapy is a kill. That puts the Hulk into play and you sack it. But Pattern of Rebirth requires a second sacrifice to win with, and that's why there's only 3 of them.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of the card that's been associated with this deck, but it's I've had some good times with Pattern of Rebirth.
Absolutely. I mean, I think
it was the Tommy Walmey's deck that he top 4 to Masters with, the Rector Burst deck.
I believe that the first Pattern of Rebirth deck was Ped Bun, who designed that one that was competitive. The guy that designed Bob Maher's Oath of Druids deck that he won or Pro Tour Chicago with, and then it was picked up by Wallamies. I'm pretty sure it's Wallamies.
Yeah, I remember actually copying this list for an extended PTQ and top 8ing with it. Like 13-year-old me, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. My opponents don't know what my deck does.
On our left, Scott Robbins with Aggro Loam.
And on our right, Felix Lapan with, well, Hulk.
I'm a big Life from the Loam fan. I am going to, just because, even though I think Felix is,
actually
advantaged, I want the underdog to win. What I'm hoping here from Scott Robbins is I want Mox, discard 2 lands, cast Life from the Loam, play a land, and then do something else. That'd be fun.
I gotta be on the combo side of this.
It's okay. You're a combo guy.
Yeah, I am. This is, Pattern of Rebirth, like I said, one of my favorite cards, first constructed PTQ I played, top 8'd with Pattern, because my opponents didn't understand. Pattern comes down with Therapy and Graveyard, and there's no chance to naturalize between when that creature hits the graveyard and when that Pattern resolves. You have priority immediately.
Keeps his opening hand. Felix seems to be similarly okay.
See if we can
Turn
get
1
lists pretty soon.
Taiga.
Turn 1 Taiga. Diamond.
Mox. Discards Caracas.
Doesn't seem very good in this matchup.
Tarmogoyf. It's a 1/2. It's a big squire. Yep.
Felix has the Hulk in his hand. Leads on
Birds
Birds.
of Paradise.
It's kind of funny that's the only 4-drop creature, it looks, or 4 of creature in this deck.
Wasteland. Tarmogoyf comes in, still a squire.
Yeah, Felix's deck does not look very resilient to Wasteland at all. He's got 1 forest. So, here we go. Got the deck list. This one on, let's see.
Scott Robbins' list looks almost card for card, if not card for card, the same as the winning Micah Greenbaum list from Baltimore.
It looks like he does not have Vindicate. He has a Maelstrom Pulse.
Yep.
Looks like he has a he has a Maelstrom Pulse and probably an additional land somewhere.
He added in maybe dropped a Tranquil Thicket. Going back to the game at hand, Natural Order, Birds of Paradise off of Ancient Tomb. It's going to get things to the Progenitus.
Yes.
Answers to Progenitus are few and far between for Scott Robbins.
Well, Scott can attempt to race and swords one of his own guys to gain back the life. Let's see what else can he do.
Racing is his plan.
Yep,
it's a rough race.
It really is. Felix at 17 life, however, so could go either way. Especially because Scott has this Knight, and it looks like he's playing a Crusher, so if Scott hits the swords, this race could go either way. Even if he doesn't, that's, I count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so Knight's 1, 2, 3, plus a fetch into the graveyard, plus the Taiga. 4, 5. Wastelanding himself. I think Scott might just have lethal on board. I'm going to start counting. If he wastelands Felix instead, I guess he can wasteland himself at any time. So that's Countryside is a 3, 4. Knight is a 2, 3, 4.
Felix draws.
Goyf is a
Progenitus
3.
comes in for 10.
Knight adds
Carrion
to
Feeder
itself,
can't block. Knight
and 2 to the Crusher. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I count 15 right now.
That's a fair amount.
It's lethal. The Wasteland itself is lethal. This is actually 17 damage.
So long as he gets the fetch land and doesn't decline to do that line of play.
Yeah, get the fetch land, and so long as he Wastelands himself. He doesn't even have to wasteland the fetch land. It looks like Scott even mulliganed into this hand. Very aggressive start. I think Felix may have got the wrong creature there.
I think he might have underestimated just how much could happen from Scott's side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is
Untap,
19, I believe.
Crusher reveals.
Land.
That's +1 on the Crusher.
Two,
Land,
yeah,
+2
lethal.
on the Crusher.
Oh.
Sylvan.
That is... Is that a turn 4 kill? Looks like it to me.
I think so.
Yeah, that's dead. Felix stares down approximately a million damage.
He's like, look at that. His friend Scott there has get us a slap on the back. Yeah, turn 4 kill.
Well, so it looks like the sideboard's pretty similar to what we see here. 4 carpets, 4 slaughter packs, 2 Xantid swarms.
I have a real quick question before you go there. With the reveal from the Crusher of 2 lands, did Scott have enough to actually kill even if Ancient Tombs hadn't been tapped?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He just like...
Each of those lands is +2. Yeah,
so amazing,
he had
right?
over 20.
So he had over 20 without even the help of the Ancient Tombs. That's amazing.
Without even the help of the Squire Goy swing. So that was 3 off the Goy. Countryside got 1 from the Wasteland, 1 from the Fetch, 1 from the Sack from the Night, and 2 from the Reveals. Night of the Reliquaries base 2, 1 from the Mox Diamond, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 8, and goes to 3. That's 19, not even counting Wastelanding himself. Yep.
So for possible ways to for Scott to take care of a Progenitus, he does have Retribution of the Meek.
That is true.
Also, though, he can cast Leyline of the Void to stop the combo portion. So that's not the Progenitus. That's the that's the Hulk portion.
Yep. It also stops Pattern of Rebirth because
it takes away the replacement.
Yeah. Leyline of the Void replaces going to the graveyard, I believe.
It doesn't go to the graveyard, so it doesn't trigger.
Yep.
So 4 Leyline of the Void is very likely to be Scott's sideboard, and he might bring in the 1 Retribution of the Meek just as a anti-Progenitus.
He has Burning Wish. I think he wants to wish for that.
Oh, yeah, he has Burning Wish. There we go. Yeah, so he can just burn for it. That's
Yep.
5 mana to kill it.
So he probably brings in Ley Lines, probably boards out. I can see Worm Harvest not being where you want it to.
Worm Harvest is way too slow for this matchup, I think.
Maelstrom Pulse. Sylvan Library possibly going out. And I can see a Punishing Fire. Those are the cards I can see going out. I can also see maybe him boarding out one of the less powerful lands. Maze of It doesn't seem very good here at all. I'd board out Maze of It for sure. Doesn't stop Progenitus. All it's really going to do is do the Vigilance trick on a Night of the Reliquary.
Yeah, and that's actually, the Vigilance trick is a little bit better when you're actually in an interactive combat space with your opponent.
And then for Felix, I can see Slaughter Pact.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't really see Pride Mage. Maybe Sylvan Library. Possibly no.
I like Pride Mage. Pride Mage can kill a Leyline.
Yeah, that's true. He's up to 4 probes in this list. Let's see. That might actually be... Yep, he was 60 cards before. He just added the 4th probe. May as well just cycle it. Same as 60. He has 2 Tinder Walls now. What else changed?
Looks like he took 1 Sylvan Library out of the sideboard.
Yeah, that fills in where he has Leyline of Sanctity now.
And he also has 2 Swarms where the originalist had 1 Swarm.
Yeah, he took out the Crows and Grips, I think. What? I'm trying to figure out what Singleton he took out. Main deck Xantid Swarm? Nope, there. Fauna Shaman? Nope, there. What just disappeared? Oh, the main deck library. Right?
He cut 1 library from the main deck.
Where's the...
I believe he's running 1 main deck Sylvan Library.
I don't see any, actually.
Oh, really? Fair enough. He cut the Sylvan entirely. There we go.
And added a probe. Oh, he added the 4th natural order. There's the card we're missing. A Tinderwall, a natural order, and a probe. I like the Tinderwalls.
It's really interesting. That little burst of mana can be very impressive.
Yeah, burst of mana gets you to a pattern or a natural order faster, and it's also a green body for a natural order, and it also just sacks itself with a pattern on it.
A second shake to begin game 2. Felix now on the play.
Yeah.
Looks at his opening hand.
Let's take a look and see if we can get the combo going off this game. Yeah, Felix does know about Leyline, so I think he wants the Pride Mage.
Scott says he'll keep. Scott says Leyline before game turn 1 begins. And Bird Paradise.
Devastating Dreams is actually very effective against Felix's deck.
Wasteland the land.
And Wasteland, yeah.
Felix tries to put it in the graveyard, and Scott's like, wait.
This
Mox loses a land. Mox loses a land.
Dark
Life
Confidant.
from Malone? Or no, Bob.
Close enough.
Bob.
Birds for Birds. There's a Pride Mage, a Therapy.
Birds for Birds, different art. Bob says... I can't tell what he says. Said something.
Forgotten Cave, I think. Yeah, he's got 2 caves and a Voice. Green card. 2 caves and a Loam.
Loam. Oh, that was pretty good. Zoink, zoink, zoink. That's 3 cards back.
I would say the order was pretty nice, but really it doesn't matter with that.
Lays the hooded foothills for his land for the turn.
Yep. You're gonna cycle this, probably. Oh, they're revealing it's just a show. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a Wasteland in hand. There we go.
Yeah, because he loamed it. He loamed the Wasteland.
Yep. There we go. Oh, Felix has... Oh, wow.
Is that an Ancient Tomb?
He's got Pattern in hand. He's got Pattern and...
Well, Pattern doesn't work with Leyline.
Forgotten Cave was flipped to Bob.
Yep.
There we go. That's what it was on upkeep. Okay, so... He has the Pride Mage, though. So he's probably just going to go... Neither does Rector, actually. Felix probably conferring as to what happens with that. But I think he's just going to go... Oh, yeah, Pattern does not work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just got to put the Pride Mage into play. Though, I might consider... just putting Pattern on a Birds here, so next turn, if... I guess you're 1 short of that, never mind. I was thinking you could get enough mana to Pride Mage and Cabal next turn, but that can't happen. Let's see. Felix trying to figure out the best way to do exactly what we're talking about with getting to killing the ley line so this Pattern can trigger.
If he has a natural order, I don't see one, but...
Nope. He's got Therapy, Rector, Pride Mage, and 2 Rebirths.
Playing the Ancient Tomb when there's a Wasteland that's been returned is just not valuable.
Yeah, that's just going to sit there. I think he just drops the Pride Mage.
Don't lay it. Don't lay it. No, Felix.
No, he's gonna put the Rebirth on a Birds.
And then he can later on, next turn, lay the Kasali Pride Mage, and if he draws a land, pop off the ley line when he's ready to sacrifice the bird to something.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he just wanted this order.
He's got a Cabal
You know,
Therapy
if he
to be able
does
to
it
do
in this
that.
order, Scott has to stunt his mana a little bit, maybe not get as much mana per turn in order to Wasteland him. And if Scott doesn't Wasteland him, I think Felix is in a position just to basically win this game now.
Yeah, so he can, as you said, because of the Cabal Therapy, just Kasali Pride Mage plus any land means that he'll be able to activate the Kasali Pride Mage next turn if he gets a land.
Yeah.
And that's presuming that the Wasteland,
Someone brings up a reasoning for the Dies mechanic not being the best way to keyword it. You know, it's really not obvious if you're just looking at it that Leyline of the Void stops Dies triggers.
Yeah. I was just looking at that when I was looking at the Academy Rector, because when Academy Rector dies, I was like, well, it's going to be dying. And I'm like, wait a second. They mean dies goes to the graveyard from play.
That's a very good reason that the old terminology was a little bit better. Not significantly, just enough to matter.
Bob attacks.
Yep.
Mox in hand for Scott. Great draw for him, actually. Just because of the ability to continue to develop his mana.
Yep. Tons of card advantage here.
Wasteland, looking to make some damage to the Academy runes.
I like how we're looking at these two toolboxes. You know, one's all the lands and one's all the creatures, and
We see 3 mana.
Knight.
Knight of the Reliquary. Mox discards Grove of the Burn Willows.
And that is a huge Knight. That probably can't attack next turn, though. Let's take a look. Lands that he can fetch: Duskflow, Maze of Ith, Verdant Catacombs, Caracas.
And there it is. Felix gets the land he needs to be able to cast the Kasali Pride Mage this turn if he would like to, and have the mana to activate and destroy the ley line.
Yep, I think you want to do that. I think you want to play the Pride Mage, leave the Rebirth Birds up, so that if Scott just can't attack, Scott attacks, you block, sack, Knight is a 7 right now for the record. Oh, I don't think that's the land you want, though. I don't think you want to get Wastelanded again. I think you just want your one... Does he have a forest? He has 1 forest.
He wants the black for...
But it's not going to live, though.
Yeah, good point. There it is, Kasali Pride Mage.
Maybe does Scott realize that he can't attack here? We'll see.
And he goes cycling. Forgotten Cave.
Draw.
Draws a card. Can't see what it is.
Is that a Dark Confidant? Is that a ley line? I don't know.
Untap. Bob says.
Bob reveals land. Looks like another Bob in his hand.
And
Draw.
He does not bring back the
It's in his hand.
Life from the Loam. You brought it back?
Did it last turn, didn't recast. Felix is in position to fairly easily win this game if he gets the Hulk. Or at least Scott can't attack at all.
Scott's actually in really rough shape right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a Swords before Felix gets another sack outlet, I just don't think Felix should have gotten the Bayou. I think he wanted Forest.
I think that's probably fair.
Again, I'm always conservative with my fetches in these combo decks, but I think he wanted the Forest for sure, because then another land puts him in natural order range, which then Pattern gets a sack outlet, and Hulk gets one of them gets Hulk, one of them gets a sack outlet, and the game's over.
Two mana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess Life from the Loam, bring back Forgotten Cave, looking for something perhaps.
Yeah, Scott has approximately 1 million options right now.
He's attacks.
Oh,
Wow.
that should be game.
That is.
If that is not game,
insanity.
I'm going to be very shocked. That's one of the advantages of these weird combo decks. Like, your opponent might just not really fully grasp exactly what's going to happen. Maybe he doesn't think that Felix... Maybe he thinks Felix is just going to get, Progenitus again. Maybe he doesn't really, kind of gets what's going on. Maybe he just doesn't think Felix is another sack outlet. And Birds dies, and Hulk's going to come on in, I think. I don't think you can reasonably attempt to... Though, he might be able to race the Knight with a Progenitus. He might go for that. I might not play... I don't think I'd play it safe. Just go for it. He wouldn't have given you the choice. If he had the Swords, he would not have given you the choice. When you tapped your Birds to kill the ley line, he would have Swords when you were tapped out.
Yes. Scott has not laid a land yet this turn, which means that his Life from the Loam plus the...
Wasteland. Yeah,
I was going to say, actually, which means that his Life from the Loam plus Forgotten Cave can dig him 2 cards in if he wants. No, actually, that's not correct. He can dig himself 1 card, really, because he still has to bring back the Life from the Loam if he wants to get any further in.
He can do it on his upkeep, or his next turn as well. So just wants to dig the most cards possible this turn, I think. Okay, I think we're about to watch the combo.
Oh, I don't like that one bit.
It probably still wins in the game, but I'm not sure.
There it is, the Hydra.
Felix has the fear here. I don't know. I mean, Swords probably still beats this plan. He just Swords one of his guys, gains life, and doesn't die. That's the problem, is you're playing to beat Swords, but this is going to beat Swords. But the only thing you're playing to beat here is the second ley line of the board, which I think you would have just pre-combat if you're going to attack like that. Unless you're assuming that your opponent makes a misplay. Like, you're making a play assuming your opponent made a misplay.
It's Loam gets Caves Wasteland.
Yes.
That's really good.
2.
2 mana.
Bob. Trying to put as much damage on board as possible. Draws a Probe. Pay 2 life and Probe. Take a look at what you got. The one unknown card being a Badlands.
Land.
Yep.
Sorry, I had one too many there. Land.
All lands. Draws a Verdant Catacombs. Gonna crack in there for the Progenitus. And Felix is dead to a removal spell.
Dredges the Loam.
Yeah. I think, does that actually get him more cards? Yeah, it does. Draws 1 versus draws 2 or 3, I think.
Bob says. Land, I think.
Yep.
Bob says. I can't see what that last card is.
I think it was, they revealed the 2-drop and a ley line is actually what it was, because they were writing on life rolls. So I think that Bob just killed him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Felix, I don't know, I think he had the combo lined up. But decided to just go for Progenitus and play the, I don't want to call it the safe route, because I think that both routes lose to Swords.
It's the question, like, if you lose both ways,
To Swords?
why not open yourself up to less losses in other ways, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you go with the combo plan.
Yeah. I don't know, like, you lose to Swords both ways. I think the Progenitus has a chance of just being outraced if he has a guy, second main. Oh!
Yes. Now, for those of you who have been watching all weekend, you know that we gave away this morning an amazing prize.
Yeah.
What was that prize?
Gen Con badge.
Right now, we're not giving away a Gen Con badge. We're going to be doing that a little bit later. We're giving away one Gen Con badge at the finals. But what we do is we give away Star City Games Premium here.
3 months right now?
Yeah, so we got a trivia question that is going to be given to you guys. And the question is very, very simple.
Yeah.
In this top 8, now what you're going to want to do to answer this trivia question and get 3 free months of Star City Games Premium is tweet your answer to SCG Premium, the hashtag. Hashtag SCG Premium.
And
how many archetypes are in this Legacy top 8?
yeah. And I saw someone make this mistake earlier. That's not an @ that's a hashtag, the pound sign, not the @. You don't want it at SCG Live, you don't want it at SCG Premium, you want pound sign SCG Premium. That is what you want. So, answer that question. One random person with the correct answer will win 3 months of free Star City Games Premium. Really pretty cool prize. You know, Star City Premium's pretty good. I mean,
I think it's awesome.
Top 8 competitor Jerry Thompson regularly writes awesome articles on that site. He'll probably have a tournament report on this up. So it looks like we're getting to game 3 here pretty quickly. Should be interesting.
We're going to have Scott Robbins, who is...
Scott Robbins is going to be on the play, and maybe he has another turn 4 kill.
Right? I mean, the thing that he was representing there to Felix in this last game, he got killed by his own Bobs, which that's not that wasn't a very likely possibility, but certainly it can happen. But he was representing the real possibility of just killing Felix.
Yeah. Though the one thing I didn't consider is that Felix may have boarded out the second Hulk, seeing the more hate for the combo. Maybe just sort of have the combo, but not really.
Felix mulligans.
Yep.
Scott keeps with his. Waiting for Felix's shuffle up here.
Yeah. Felix also has Green Sun Zenith to ramp. He's got a lot of cool interactions in his deck. The Fauna Shaman's kind of an interesting one that I didn't really... I don't know how relevant it is. I don't know how often it comes up, but it kind of
I am actually really curious what the Fauna Shaman, what its role is in this deck. What are the situations where you want to start going down that path?
I think you green suns for the Fauna Shaman, which can then Fauna Shaman up, say, an Academy Rector, or discard a Progenitor that's in your hand. It's probably more of a green suns target. Same with the Star Versalka.
Just to repeat the trivia question, how many different archetypes are represented in this top 8 of the Star City Games Legacy Open Series here? Respond at SCG Premium, hashtag SCG Premium.
Felix goes down to 5. So, what's the fastest he can kill?
The very, very fastest? If he's going second and he is playing against blue and he lays a Carpet of Flowers on turn 1, then I think he can go off on turn 2.
You know what? Actually, I don't think he can.
He goes, say, oh wait.
It costs 5 mana for him to go off because he needs the discard outlet too. Or the sack outlet.
I guess I was going off not even the full way. I was going off with just natural order.
Yeah, you can natural order on 2 pretty easily. Just like land, birds, on tap, tomb, kill you. It's a turn 3 at fastest. The thing about this combo deck is a lot more about consistency.
Actually, no. If he's going second versus islands, turn 1 Carpet of Flowers, turn 2 Ancient Tombs gives 3 plus 2 is 5 mana, right? Isn't that enough?
But he needs a creature in play.
Oh, he needs an outlet.
So he's got to drop the second Carpet of Flowers, first main, and then go to second main, play the birds, play the therapy. This is getting convoluted.
Okay, we've got a Wooded Foothills from Scott Robbins, and Felix Lapan lays a Bird of Paradise.
Yep. He did, in fact, board in the Slaughter Packs. He gets the basic this time, interestingly.
What kind of basic forest is that?
It's Champions of Kamigawa. Don't ask how I know this.
Are you sure?
Yes.
His arm's in the way, I can't quite tell.
It is a Champions of Kamigawa forest.
It's got the cool tree, that's how you can tell.
It's a pretty, Yep, here we go. Champions of Kamigawa Forest, number 2. Ruben Bressler over here commenting on the Hulk Flash. Bit of his specialty from old Extended. Back in the Elves days, he was using the Through the Breach and I think maybe Footsteps of the Goryo to flash stuff out back when people weren't really doing that so much. It's kind of really a rogue deck. I think he top-8'd some PTQs with it.
I believe that's the quote-unquote bubble Hulk deck I was talking about.
See, Rubens wasn't top 8 of the draft open. Did he win? He did not win in the top 8, but he did make top 8 of the second draft open, losing to Alex Bertoncini.
Got a Dark Confidant from Scott Robbins.
Losing to someone else.
Bird of Paradise taps. Perhaps Tinderwall, Cabal Therapy, Natural Order.
This is Ruben. Watch now. This is about to be a turn 3 kill.
Cabal Therapy. Naming something bad. Swords.
Yes.
Name what you fear. Don't try to guess what they've got. Name what you fear.
It's a wasteland. Maybe this isn't going to be... Oh, is that a ley line?
It looks like...
Yeah, it's a ley line.
Yep.
Cracking that. You're going to drop Tinderwall and Wild Cantor.
Pretty okay.
This is a turn 3 kill as far as I can tell. I forgot about the Wild Cantor. That looks very lethal to me. Ruben smiling excitedly about this one. Devastating Dreams is the card name. That's a reasonable one as well.
That's fair. I mean, because if he does, let's say he lays both of those things, and then Scott's just like, blow up the world.
Yeah. So Felix is just going to make 2 guys pass the turn. Next turn, he has red off the Fairwall, green off the Cantor, green off the land.
And Bob, in play for Scott Robbins, that's Dark Confidant, does mean that there's 2 opportunities for Scott to do something that could disrupt that.
He has to hit a Mox or a Swords, I believe. Or no, Swords doesn't... Swords...
Devastating Dreams does it.
Devastating Dreams does it. Mox Diamond does it. Because
Well-
Mox Diamond gets him to Leyline into play. But
Yeah.
then no, Felix just Progenesis him, man. Jeez.
Does he have both sides of the combo? He has natural order and he has
He has natural order in his hand, so he
Wow.
just gets whatever he wants. So Bob reveals. Tarmogoyf
not exciting.
draws. Burning Wish, he's a mana short.
Burning Wish. Well, the thing is if Felix goes not for the combo but instead for Progenitus, Burning Wish can potentially
Retribution?
be Retribution of the Meek.
I think Felix is going to combo here, though. It goes through his swords, I think. Goes straight on through. Ruben nodding his head in agreement, knowing the list, having played this list, or similar lists enough. Yeah, with the Carrion Feeder and the Viscera Seer, Felix hasn't dead through anything, as far as I can tell. Bar Snuff Out is... Nope, Snuff Out doesn't do it. He needs a free way to kill... He needs Gut Shot. Gut Shot would stop the combo here. Gut Shot and Swords would be the... But, yeah. I'm excited to watch this.
Scott trying to figure out how to go about his main phase here.
Looks like Ruben's also saying that Extirpate, Sudden Shock, all these things could also stop it. But none of these things in Scott Robin's deck list, and Felix knows this.
Split Second is absent from Scott Robbins' list. Not even any Croson Grips, which is probably the most common of our Split Second cards.
Yeah. This, if Felix goes to the Progenesis again here, I'm going to be disappointed. I want to see this deck go off once. And I know Scott is going to make him walk through it. Because there's a chance that Felix could mess up, chance Felix could do something. So again, how that combo is going to work. Felix is going to, what's Scott Robbins playing? A Tarmogoyf? Yep. So Felix is going to untap and cast Natural Order off of his various mana sources. So green, green, red, red. Natural Order, sack birds. Natural Order gets Protean Hulk. Sacrifice Protean Hulk to Cabal Therapy. Scott Robbins would not have a chance to respond with Swords to Plowshares because Felix immediately regains priority. This Protean Hulk is going to get Body Double and Carrion Feeder. I believe that's how this works, right? Body Double and Carrion Feeder? Yeah. Body Double and Carrion Feeder. Body Double is going to copy Protean Hulk. You can also get Dryad Arbors if you want, but I don't think that's too big of a difference.
Just waiting for going through the motions, essentially.
So
Scott taking a moment to read Protean Hulk, figure out what it does.
Trying to figure out what the right way to beat a Swords here is. It's getting Body Double and looks like Dryad Arbor, Body Double, Viscera Seer, or Viscera Seer. Sacrifice Body Double is going to be a Protean Hulk. Cabal Therapy is on the stack right now. If Scott responds with Swords, he's going to name Swords because that's the only card that could possibly matter. Felix is now full on going off. Sack Body Double, it's Protean Hulk, get Revelark, get Mog Fanatic. That is game.
Yes.
And this Scry doesn't even have to resolve. It's going to sack Revelark, or shoot him first, sorry. Sack Revelark. Gets back Body Double Mog Fanatic.
And Scott is like, I see it, you got me.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't get it, Body Double copies Revelark. Shoot at Mog Fanatic at him, sacrifice the Body Double. It's in the graveyard as a 0/0 when the Revelark trigger resolves. So you get back Body Double, Mog Fanatic, Revelark again. And that was the Protean Hulk combo going off
Finally,
right there.
It was nice to see it. Now, Hulk is going to play the winner between Zoo and Elves.
Yeah, I can't help but think that Felix's deck may have wanted the card Body Snatcher somewhere.
Right, it's interesting.
Mostly so that he can get an additional one-cost guy in the middle of the combo. So instead of getting, he gets body double to Protean Hulk, he sacks it, gets Body Hunter, which lets him get not just Carrion Feeder, but the Mogthanatic. So he has the 2 sack out dodge removal spell, gets the Mogthanatic into play, gets back, sacrificing Body Snatcher, which basically has a come into play trigger of you can discard a card from your hand, which helps a lot. You can discard a creature from your hand when it comes into play. If you don't, you exile it. But it also, with that on the stack, you sacrifice it, and its least trigger is exile Body Snatcher and reanimates them.
Yes.
So you reanimate the Body Double as a whole.
It's an insurance policy in essence.
Yeah, it lets you fight straight through a source. So the winner of our premium giveaway is Michael Grote.
Yeah. And the answer to the question that was tweeted earlier, how many different archetypes are there in our top 8 here for the Legacy Open?
8.
Michael Grote was one of 1,000 or so people that tweeted in and said the right answer, and that's correct. 8 people, 8 archetypes in our top 8, and that's what's so awesome about Legacy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a great format.
We really haven't seen a lot of double ups in these lately. Well, there was a bunch of Hive Mind last week, but you know, sometimes that happens.
Every once in a while, if a deck is either more popular or if people's resistance to a certain kind of deck lapses, then something rises up.
Yeah, I think this week we saw a resurgence of No Rug to deal with that, but then these are all decks that can beat up on No Rug pretty easily. So we'll see what happens in the future.
Not a single No Rug in the top 8.
We've
they
got
were
some
just hiding below.
We got a couple natural orders, but no Rugs.
Right.
So, Michael Grote, please follow us at SCG Live, and we can get you information on how to receive your free 3 months of premium. So take a look at that. Really great. Star City Premium's an amazing resource for anyone trying to play competitive Magic.
And I have a word from Glenn Jones, our coverage manager here, that Jerry Thompson has won 2-1
Taking
versus
out the
Fish.
player that we thought might win this whole thing. So I don't think that really alters.
Does that change anything? Does his Reanimator or Blue-White matchup, is that different?
I think Blue-White matchup might be a little closer. I think that he's still reasonably favored against Hulk. Not so favored against Zoo. So we'll see. And we have top 16 deck lists right now. Let's see what finished just outside the top 8. We have 9th place. I believe it's the Forceless Bant deck. Missed out on tiebreakers. Yep, 0 Force Will. No sideboard Force Wills either. And yeah, this is someone from the local store, and it's a pretty inbred version with a lot of either sword cannons and galaxies. You can kind of tell. It was designed by Kyle Bogmus, who likes to do that with all his decks. Like, well, I know if I play against someone real with a real combo deck, I'm just going to die, so may as well board all this hate. 10th place, another Zoo deck. 11th place, Blue-White Tempo. Is this what I think it is?
Mother of Runes, Phantasmal Image. Wow.
This is Weathered Wayfarer. They've cut the Fathom Seers, but this is what used to be the Fathom Seer deck. They now have Phantasmal Image, which I think is really good right now. You know, beats up.
You've been seeing a lot of play for that in Standard too.
Yeah, that's it's a really good creature, and it's surprisingly showing. Well, not surprisingly showing up in Legacy. I guess it's cheap, it's efficient, good answer to Progenitus, good beatdown, good Tarmogoyf. Who won? Zoo 1-2-1 as expected, defeating Elves. So Dan Musser goes on to face Felix Lapan in the top 4, Zoo versus Hulk, as we were predicting.
So what we're going to have then, once we get to the semifinals...
Another Reanimator in the top 16.
Nice.
And Scape Shift.
Nice.
With Prismatic Omen.
If that's the person I saw earlier, he has a totally tricked out deck with everything in the same Eli Cassis fashion up at the most expensive versions possible. So right now, with our matchups for our semifinals, it's going to be Zoo versus Pattern Hulk, and it's going to be Team America versus the winner between Eli Cassis and Ben Friedman, which is the Blue-White Fairies versus Reanimator. So you guys at home, give us a shout-out on the Twitter and say, at SCG Live, do you want to see Zoo versus Hulk? Or do you want to see Jerry Thompson play against either Reanimator or Blue-White? Let us know.
Yeah, those are both really interesting matchups. You know, we've seen the Hulk deck once. Maybe we don't want to feature it again because, you know, watch the same thing twice or just watch completely new things the entire time. Dan playing a bit of a Patrick Sullivan style Zoo deck with Wastelands, Curd Apes, Wild Nakados, Loam Lions, Goblin Guides. You know, a million 1-drops, only 2 drops being Tarmogoyf. Yeah, Jerry's really been literally dismembering Fish today, apparently.
Okay, so we're still waiting to hear about whether or not which matchup, whether it's Zoo or Hulk, that we want to see.
So I'm really interested to see. I'm kind of biased. I kind of want to see Reanimator if it wins, but you know, not everyone kind of, you know, that matchup might not be really interesting. You know, either Team America does everything and Reanimator does nothing, or Reanimator just kind of makes a Jenga Taxis, which I think is awesome to watch. But
I actually want to see the Team America deck play, because I think it has some of the more interesting interactive methods of playing against either of its opponents that it might have. Whereas I think Zoo and Hulk, I don't know that they interact with each other very much.
So I just want to take a look at this Zoo deck and what it has against this Hulk deck. It just has Tormod's Crypt, which kind of does stop the combo for a little. Does not stop Progenitus, though. I think the Zoo deck, if anything, is just going to have to deal with Progenitus. And it's got some Metamorphs on the board to do that. Let's take a look. Yeah, this Zoo deck versus Natural Order deck is going to be marginally interesting.
It seems like there's an overwhelming call-out for Jerry Thompson.
So I think that's a good idea. I think we should feature him and see.
There we go.
Hex Hawks wants to see Zoo.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. A lot of people really want to see Jerry versus Reanimator and see how that goes.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to see
Jerry
what happens between...
Jerry versus Ely is going to be a really interesting
Yeah.
matchup if it happens. You know, Ely's kind of a legacy master, and Jerry's kind of, well, a master in general.
I would say that it's very likely that any Star City Games event that happens, Jerry Thompson is likely to be the most talented player in the room, and if he's not, he's certainly in the top 2 or 3 in the room.
I mean, in California, you might have an argument for Luis, but we'll see.
So it looks like what we're going to do is we've got a little bit of time before this last match finishes. We're going to take a short break before the semifinals, and then we'll come back here to the semifinals of the Star City Games Live Open Series Legacy event. I'm Adrian Sullivan.
And I'm Ari Lax.
See you in a few.